Hello everyone, my name is Megan Margie, and today I will be presenting on the film called Resball. This is a compelling sports drama that is centered around the Chesca Warriors, and this film represents a lot of the course themes we discussed in class, including stereotypes, identity, and resistance. This film is not just about basketball, but it is about the community around basketball. And so, yeah. Resball was directed by Sydney Freeland, who played basketball at a school in the Navajo Nation in New Mexico. This film was released in 2024 on Netflix and is based off of a New York Times series by writer Michael Powell. And one of the main interesting things about this story was all of the actors were once res kids, and I felt that this made the story more authentic, and it really showed that the characters or the actors were able to connect with the characters during the process of finding out who the actors were going to be. It was a very extensive process. I believe it was like 5,000 people auditioned for it, and only 8 were selected, and it involved a lot of interviews, videos of these actors shooting a basketball. So I thought that was kind of cool, and it was something that Sydney Freeland was very passionate about. So a little backstory on this. So it's a sports drama, and it was around the basketball team called the Chesca Warriors, which was a Native American high school basketball team from Chesca, New Mexico. The team faced significant challenges as they strived for a state championship, and one of the main challenges that they experienced was losing their star player to suicide. Suicide was a common, sad thing that happened a lot in the youth, and not just the youth, but people in general on the reservation. This loss left the team grieving and having to rebuild their team and rebuilding leadership and testing their strengths. The film then explored the community's deep connection to basketball, highlighting it as a source of pride and hope amidst the struggles of unemployment and depression and other systemic issues within the reservation. The players and their coach, Heather Hobbs, who was an NBA basketball player, had to navigate their personal and team struggles and weaknesses, attempting to rebuild the team. During the season, they hired an assistant coach that practiced their cultural traditions, like smudging ceremony that was performed on them during and before basketball games and practices. This helped the team move forward and process their emotions during the difficult season. Towards the end of the season, they definitely gained more strength and worked through their difficulties and challenges. Despite their setbacks, they all came together as a team and community. And this film talked about a lot of heavy themes that we talked about during our class that I will be talking about in a little bit. And yeah, basketball on a Native American reservation is very high speed, very intense, and this was shown right away in the beginning of the film when the first scene was an intense game going on. This immediately drew my attention and made me understand the passion surrounding the sport, not just with the team, but the audience and the community around it. And the setting of this film took place in a Native American reservation. It was very detailed, and yes. And in Resball, basketball is more than just a sport. It involves the community, it involves the team, and it represents the deeper culture and themes that we discussed in class and that I will be discussing in the next slide. The community showed their strength, and the team showed their strength throughout the film, despite all the challenges dealing with the loss of their star player, poverty, unemployment, depression. And then one of the more interesting things I noticed in the game was they included their Navajo language into their basketball plays. This showed a sense of pride in their heritage and pride in their community and pride in who they are. And they played teams that didn't speak their language and they used it to their advantage. The film Resball portrayed many of the themes we discussed in our course, 3 of them being resistance, cultural identity, and stereotypes. Resball is ultimately a story based on resistance, despite the team and community's journey of ups and downs and adversities. Everyone came together to persevere and beat the odds, and their journey served as a reminder that despite the systemic challenges, determination and coming together as a community can bring people together. And then for cultural identity, basketball is more than just a sport. It brings people together and became a crucial element of their identity in the Cheska community. For the players, the game is a way for them to channel their heritage. For an example, when they started calling their plays in their Navajo language, this became like a symbolic act of reclaiming their language and strategically using it in a contemporary modern setting. And then for stereotypes, there wasn't really any stereotypical language used in the film, but they addressed stereotypes by making the individuals and characters more than a one-dimensional character, as modern-day media often portrays Native Americans. The 2 characters that this was mainly shown in was Jimmy and then the coach Heather. They both came from complex backstories. And for an example, Coach Heather, she had to make the decision of staying on the reservation or pursuing a college coaching career. Her internal conflict represented that there was more to her and that they aren't always going to be stuck on the reservations. In conclusion, Resball deepened my understanding of youth on the Native American reservations, and not just youth, but people as a whole on those reservations. Resball is more than just a sports drama. It was a powerful narrative that talked about loss, resilience, and strength of community. Through the authentic storytelling and showing of the Indigenous life and its celebration of basketball, the film offered a rich exploration of themes like cultural identity, resistance, and challenging those stereotypes that modern-day media portray them as. I encourage everyone to watch Resball, and I would watch it again in the future. And these were the sources and references I used to further my research for this film. Thank you for watching.